And welcome back to the most spiciest, exciting series you'll have all week here in the Risen Esports Dominate League as Lane Kingdom and EOD going to an unexpected game 3. I almost said game 5. Haven't played enough League for that tonight. But going to a game 3, what many would have expected was a swift 2-0 in favor of EOD. And Han, you were talking about some of the things that Lane Kingdom needed to change to have taken that game to home. Why don't you share that with the rest of our viewers here? What you think they should have done differently in that game two that they can possibly translate into game 3 to take this surprise 2-1 victory over EOD?
Well, speaking of changes, it turns out that Margarine is being subbed out for 3-8. So, but speaking on what they should do, I don't know 3-8's can't pull, so I can't speak on what he should do. But as a team, I think they should, as long as they communicate on their team fighting and what they should do after they use all the roast and only back off. I think they'll do a lot better. It's just that the shot calling within the team fights is just a bit off.
In game 1, we saw this where the Ornn ultimate from TikTok was popped really early. A lot of the times in their fights, it just happened that EOD threw at a Baron and also just didn't have a lot of great follow-up to exploit and punish the miscommunication on that fight. Game 2, they were able to do so more efficiently, able to punish with the Lux, Jeffrey93 popping off on that Pike. So hopefully with 3-8 being a wild card, and maybe his communication might be better with the team. Maybe with all these substitutes, let's not forget that Margarin was a substitute coming in for Lane Kingdom. I am fairly new to Risen, so I do not know if he was a permanent fixture that had been there for a while or if he was just there for this week, but now he's being subbed out. So they have a wild card in the mix. Maybe this helps them out as we have entered picks and bans. But if you're EOD, you have to be thankful because you at least feel like you don't have to ban the Zoe that was still a force in game 2, even though Lane King did not come out with the win.
So right now the ban phase is relatively simple. EOD is gonna ban the Kaisa, and then I believe LK is gonna ban the Talon left. Orianna? That should be a mistake.
Nope. Not a mistake ban, man. They are afraid of, they might have looked up 3-8's champion pool very quickly and saw he was an Orianna main. Maybe. Who knows?
They're letting LK get Kaisa, or they're just gonna first pick that champ.
I mean, if you look at it, they have the Kaisa's open, Lucian's still open, although it was not played in game 1 or 2, even though in game 2 it was let through. Ezreal's open. There's a lot of picks still open here for Lane King to take with their first couple as EOD do steal away that Kaisa.
I can't see the last ban, but yeah, that's what they had to do. If they don't want Lane Kingdom to get that pick, they should pick it themselves, and so it's just the ball's gonna be on Lane Kingdom's court to get the AC ahead again, like they did in the first game.
Now, I wonder if because they had to use another substitute, if they lost another ban and therefore have lost 3 bans instead of just 2 bans in this series, which would really be a detriment as the brand is locked in. We'll see if they pair it. They're actually picking the Maokai, something we haven't seen in a long time in the top lane. Maokai, known for his affinity for building magic resist items and being a very solid staple. He is almost like the magic resist version of Ornn, where he doesn't really need a lot of gold. Doesn't matter if he falls behind, because he's still going to have a lot of team fight effectiveness. And he also builds very well into AP, which is something Kaisa likes to build now, as it looks like the Leona is hovered, but the Camille will be picked for EOD, and they're going to finish out their rotation of picks right here in the next 25 seconds or so.
Yeah, and the only thing with the brand is that the other thing other than Bruiser bot lanes is double AP bot lanes. I've seen Cassiopeia Vel'Koz in my games, Brand Vel'Koz, or some variation of double AP comps in the bot lane. So I'm wondering if they're gonna pair Brand with someone uh, who is a caster, but no, it's just gonna be the caster ADC instead of with the Ezreal.
And this feels really, really odd in the fact that Ezreal is a safe pick. You pick him because you can safely farm in lane, and you can be aggressive with him, but he's mostly picked because he hits his 2-item power spike without a lot of resistance. While Brand is usually taken because you compare him with something like a Lucian, like a Kaisa, even though it was taken by EOD, even Xayah, other high damage AD carry picks that can follow through on his burst very quickly and efficiently, and this Ezreal kind of counteracts that. So I'd be very interested to see how they work that one in. But for EOD, the Rengar picked in the jungle here for Nita Durity, very aggressive pick in the jungle, and a blind pick Rengar at that. They don't even know what jungler Lane Kingdom might be taking against this Rengar.
Yeah, I mean, jungler is still up his Graves, and so EOD has only one shot at banning a champion. So I would assume to be Graves. They might, but Trundle Graves, no matter what, Lane Kingdom's gonna have a great counter pick to the jungle.
Exactly. It can be just about anything. He can try and pick Sejuani to basically just track the Rengar, not even interact with him. And when he does interact, it is, Rengar cannot burst out as Sejuani. I feel like no matter, unless this Rengar gets extremely dumb far ahead, gets his serrated Dirk early, gets that first lethality on before Sejuani has a chance to even get close to getting her Cinder Hulk enchantment on him, he can't really burst her out in a 1v1, as my suspicions were confirmed. Lane Kingdom had to give up an extra ban because they had to use another substitute. So they only had 2 bans on the table. The Swain, it will be the last ban from EOD, taking away any sort of safety and sustain that 3-8 might have in that mid lane to try and scale up and be that force in team fights later on, while the Poppy is taken by Lane Kingdom. So
Wait, is that gonna be? I don't know. Poppy top, Maokai support. I have no clue.
It might be a Maokai jungle, which I have seen in the deepest, darkest corners of Summoner's Rift. It can work sometimes, and it might be why EOD picked the Rengar, because they had an inkling that it would be a Maokai jungle, and therefore picked the Rengar, because Maokai is one of these squishier early game tanks in the game. If he goes top lane, it makes sense, because while Camille can bully him, he doesn't need a whole bunch of gold and he can stay safe. But in the jungle, if Rengar finds him, he's an extremely squishy target in the early stages of the game. So the compositions have been routed out now with the Zoe coming in and the counter pick in mid lane of Zed coming through as well. So we're gonna have an interesting mid lane, what appears to be an interesting jungle right here. It can still be a jungle Poppy too. So a lot of flexing being done here from Lane King. I'm excited to see where these picks are gonna go once we complete the actual draft phase by locking them in the client.
Yeah, I like the matchup for the mid lane. Zed into Zoe, I would say is a pretty good matchup, because if Zed gets in his damage, even if Zoe uses Sleepy Bubble Trouble after he ults, it's still not going to be enough. So because he can still get out his damage before the Sleepy Bubble Trouble hits. So I definitely think there's a lot of counterplay there in the mid lane.
His mobility will be an issue for cute Soraka, because like you said, Zed, once he gets some boots, is actually an incredibly mobile champion that can dodge a lot of the skill shots that Zoe will try and throw at him. And even then, you hit him with the Sleep Bow Trouble, as long as he gets his full rotation off in those few milliseconds before he actually gets stunned, he can still 100-0 the Zoe with an Ignite on top of Electrocute as well. So, I mean, Lane Kingdom said we're going to put out all the spice we can possibly do to win this series, and I like it. This is what you want to see from a team that's 0-5, has nothing left to lose. Game 3, they don't go standard, and neither team really went standard. You see the Leona, the Rengar coming through, but I feel like Lane Kingdom went a bit more extreme than EOD did with their composition and the type of game they want to play.
Yeah. So looks like it's gonna be TikTok going Maokai jungle, and Poppy is going top. So you're right. It looks like it's gonna be Maokai jungle in the for TikTok.
Hey man, if he can make it work, I can potentially see the combo that they have going for Lane Kingdom. Get the Maokai to go in with a twisted advance, and he uses his Nature's Grasp. Poppy knocks the same target or another probably target against the wall, and they're just holding people in place for Zed and Brand to get their full rotation off right. And Ezreal's just there in the back line providing DPS, poking, staying safe, what have you. But correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like it's a very tight win condition to have. It sounds like it's easily executable, but in the long run, if you're EOD and you recognize what they want to do, then you can put together the tools and items and in the way you take these team fights to basically make sure that never happens.
Yeah, and it's just gonna be in. I mean, like the last game, there's only one tank on the on Jeffrey, so Brand is gonna have a field day. Zed is gonna have a field day going after the Zoe, going after the Kaisa, going after the Rengar Camille, because these champions aren't the tankiest of champions. So if they can get their damage in the team fights, it doesn't matter how good you play it. You're just not tanky enough to take all this damage coming up from Lane Kingdom.
Once again, this is what 8.12 does to people. EOD got baited in, especially that Camille pick in the top lane. Got baited in because the Maokai was picked first rotation. And then I feel like the Rengar was picked because they're like, oh my, this might be a Maokai jungle. We need to pick something to go into that can counter that very well. But then you have a Poppy who's actually a known counter to Camille because hookshot in can get blocked by, I believe it's called the Stalwart. I can't remember what it's called, but the shield, the gigantic ring shield, she can stop Camille in her tracks and then knock her into a wall. And so you have a counter pick coming in the Poppy. And as long as Maokai does not give away too many advantages over to the side of Rengar to Nita Durity, it feels like once again Lane Kingdom has picked a composition that on the surface scales better into team fighting and into late game macro play than EOD's does.
I mean, if EOD gets the Kaiser rolling with, they have a lot of the with the Leona, with the Camille going in. So there's so I'm definitely looking at Kaisa like it did in the first game to carry the game and eventually reach a point where it doesn't really matter if the rest of the team isn't that tanky. She can carry team fights all by herself.
And the advantage for Human Each and Jeffrey is the squishiness of the lane that they're up against, right? It's a Brand Ezreal 2v2 where if Leona can land the Zenith Blade onto either of those targets, Kaisa plus Leona can blow them up extremely quickly with an Ignite and win that 2v2 handedly. Unless Brand is allowed to land his rotation resistant, Kaisa Leona has the advantage in the 2v2, right? So that's at least one lane that EOD knows they're going to win. Where else do you feel like they have to win to secure this game and win this game 3 and go up 4-2? Is it the top lane? Do you think Rengar needs to go help Dawnbringer take home this top lane as side lane? Or do you think Zoe just needs to make sure she finds a way to win the 1v1 in the mid lane versus the Zed?
I mean, on the side of EOD, I just think Kaisa I just think Kaisa. I mean, Dawnbringer has performed well. He's getting 5,000 gold leads in every game. So I think top lane for him is going to be pretty fine, even though Pop is known to be a counter. Ornn is generally seen to be a good pick into Camille, and he still did well. So Dawnbringer is definitely doing well in lane. It's just that can the rest of his team help him? Can Jeffrey did well in the second game. Can Human each on the Kaisa put out the damage? Can Zoe replicate what Margaret did on the Zoe? We'll just have to see. And this Rengar pick is pretty weird. You don't typically see it in solo queue or in competitive, so I'm not sure if it's a pocket pick for Neodort Purdy, but I definitely am excited to see how it goes.
To your point, it seems like EOD, as we're about to enter the load-in screen, is putting a lot of pressure on each of their members to have the best game of their series here. Like you said, Nita Dirty, he has to win this jungle, but more importantly, he doesn't lose the jungle. If he falls behind to this jungle Maokai, gives up a kill, ends up falling behind, then he might be putting his team in a terrible position in their early game going into the mid game. If Dawnbringer doesn't get ahead of this Poppy, even though it seems like it'd be extremely hard with it being a counter matchup, if he doesn't get ahead of this Poppy, then that's a split push element that might be lost to them, as well as giving Poppy the tools she needs to help take over team fights. In the mid lane, Zoe, if she doesn't keep down 3-8 on this Zed, then we know what Zed can do. He can basically take over games in them as well. The only lane that's really secure that overwhelmingly EOD should win seems to be that bot lane 2v2, and there's a lot of pressure EOD is putting on themselves right now, but in my opinion, if they can win this game and do this, that's not only a confidence booster for finishing out this series, but also a confidence booster for the rest of the season, knowing, hey, we can execute on competitions that require the best from us and do it well enough to win games and win series.
Yeah, and as we load into the game, we got Dawnbringer on the Camille top lane, Nita Doherty on the Rengar jungle, Cute Soraka on the Zoe mid, and Human each one and Jeffrey 93 on the Kaisa Leona bot lane.
And for the side of Lane Kingdom, trying to take this one home and do what seems like the impossible. It's tick-tock, boom on this Maokai jungle. Papa skips, swapping with him to go top lane on this Poppy. Wildfire in the mid lane with the brand, or not mid lane, in the bot lane. I'm sorry, I still have to switch my HUD around. But in the mid lane with this brand, actually almost getting engaged on. But let me finish this Zed on this Ezreal and 3-8 on the Zed going to the mid lane. And we saw a little bit of early action. A flash actually gotten from Wildfire on that early invade, which could be really important if Jeffrey starts the Zenith Blade, which he has. They could go for an early 1v1, or especially if they get level 2 first and try and end this lane early.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely nice to get that. Now Jeffrey has a window where he can, as you said, use Zenith Blade and try and get all this damage out onto the brand. But I'm not sure if Brand would be the character that you'd want to go on, or would it be Ezreal? I just don't know with this lane.
I think that the Ezreal is not a surefire target to go on, because while you land the Zenith Blade, even if you land it before he gets his Arcane Shift off, it still follows through, and he won't be in range for Kaisa to follow up on. While Brand is still an immobile mage who, if you land his Zenith Blade on, you can follow through extremely well, and he doesn't have a lot of escapes other than that flash. So I think it is the Brand you want to go on, just because unless you can bait out the Arcane Shift from Zed early, before you have to throw out the Zenith Blade, because its cooldown is actually pretty long, then he's just going to be able to easily Arcane Shift away and drag your Leona in with him to possibly be killed by the Wildfire Zed combo.
Yeah. Okay. But looking at the junglers, looks like they're all going bot side to top side, and Rengar's going to be getting the Scuttle Crab. So it's definitely a I guess top mid focused start here.
And it seems like because his TikTok because he's not a natural jungler, he might not know the more nuanced jungle pathings. And a lot of LCS, you'll see junglers, they'll take their red buff, their small camp, and then they'll head straight for that Scuttle Crab on the other end. Instead, he goes for the full clear before adding the Scuttle Crab, which could open up a window for Nita Dirty to get his full clear off and take both Scuttle Crabs and find a lead. Or if he finds TikTok in the jungle trying to get that Scuttle Crab to possibly get a kill as well.
Yeah, but Maokai is invading and looks like he's gonna go in against the Zoe.
Yeah, trying to find an early gank, won't find anything there, walks into the bush, but Zoe pushing out Zed and staying on the right side of her mid lane to be out of range. However, Wildfire getting engaged on it. There we go. There's that engage that we talked about. We're going extremely low. Can he get killed before Ezreal finds kill on the other end? He cannot. First blood goes over to Jeffrey93, and on top of that, Human Each was able to get out of range of Zed. Can they follow through? The Zenith Blade is back up off cooldown. This should be kill number 2. That will be a 2v2 win in the bot lane for EOD as Human Each and Jeffrey93 start things off right, getting 2 kills in first blood.
That is disastrous for the bot lane. Wildfire still has Ignite, doesn't use it on the Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa just gets out with a sliver of health. They use all their stuns except that Ignite, while on the side of EOD, they only got the opportunity to use Ignite onto the brand, and on this flashless brand, it allows him to
Oh no, I thought for a second that Q-Star could be able to turn that around, but the Zed Ignite to follow up was a little bit too much damage, and Zed, before he got stunned by that sleepy double trouble, was able to walk out of turret range. That'll be a kill going over to 3-8 as well in the mid lane, so where one lane is faltering, another one is succeeding, and honestly, if I'm lane king, we don't want to give up the 2v2 double kill, obviously, to the Kai'Sa. However, if the Zed gets ahead and is able to get to that backline in later fights and blow up the Kai'Sa, it doesn't really matter this early in the game when it's an Ezreal who can still find a way with Kleptomancy to hit his power spikes right on time.
Yeah, and the problem is that it's still level 4 on Zoe. It's still, let me retract, that doesn't matter if she's level 6 or not. She doesn't have any game-changing ult, but it's gonna be even before Zed has level 6. So once Zed does get level 6, he's gonna get so much unlocked for him. And so it's going to be interesting to see how far ahead Zed can take this game, and maybe start helping out his bot lane once he starts roaming.
And hey, just like War, though the mid laners change, the advantages they gain and how dominant they've been for Lane Kingdom, it stays the same. You see the CS lead right now. This Zed is pushing a 20+ CS advantage on top of cute Soraka, plus the kill has given him a serrated Dirk, so he can easily 1v1 her in any situation. Dawnbringer, talking about 1v1s, might die here to Papa skips. If he can find one more Q, it's up in 1 second. He's not able to find it. Zed is roaming up as well. Will he go for the full dive? He does have level 6. He does take a turret shot, but decides to think better of it. Ringar was there to back up Dawnbringer, as well as the heroic charge just wasn't there just yet to follow up for Papa skips. So the top side of the map of Lane Kingdom still winning, taking advantage of the lane counters they were given. Wildfire was taken low earlier on another engage. However, a 16 CS difference isn't too bad, but Neo Dirty might go down here for, oh my god, yes, yep, he's gone, done, 3-8, finding a kill, but Dawnbringer is here to try and follow up. The Hextech Ultimatum is there. He might die, he will die. Dawnbringer finding the 1v1 to trade. However, we spoke about it earlier, Neo Dirty can't fall behind, and that should put him behind, or at least allow TikTok to catch up with his opposing jungler here in these early minutes of this third game.
I mean, generally it's better for assassins to get to trade kills, because it doesn't really matter if the enemy top laner gets his power spike, his late game power spike a bit earlier, but him getting his early game power spike that much earlier allows him to kill this Zoe and start attacking the map. So hopefully, with using this advantage, he'll make the one kill he gave up non-existent. But we'll just have to see with how Zed plays. He's slowly becoming the main character in this game.
And Nature's Graph is popped in the bottom lane. TikTok, though, is extremely low. Kai'Sa might find him on the back end. Wildfire tried to find a kill with the burst, but was not able to do so. And Nita Dirty shows up out of nowhere and finds a kill as well. It'll be a clean 3-for-1 in favor of EOD, and all 3 kills going to Ringar. So we thought he might have been behind before thanks to Zed, but no more. The knockup comes through in the top lane for Papa Skips. He goes low. Dawnbringer doesn't go for the chase, however, in the top lane, but that should be enough to knock Papa Skips out of that lane and going and send him back to Fountain. So all across the map in the side lanes, EOD find their own advantages. So it won't matter if the Zed gets ahead, if the rest of his team falls behind, and there's nothing he can do come mid-late game trying to find assassinations.
Kai'Sa is actually getting pretty ahead. These are articles that you would actually want it on. Rengar can definitely do a lot of work with his assassinations, and Kai'Sa will eventually get to that point where he can carry.
And in the mid lane, Q2Rock, I thought they might find a kill, but are you trapped in mid lane with me, or am I trapped with you? Q2Rock finds out as they trade 1-for-1. For all the metaphors and analogies that you guys are praising me for tonight, Han, I really screwed that one up, but the point stays the same. A 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane allows Zed to preserve his lead, and now Jeffrey93 being aggressed on by Papa Skips. Papa Skips trying to make sure the lane doesn't push out and the gold isn't wasted there, as 3-8 has to wait till he respawns from Fountain, obviously, to return back to lane and push the wave.
Yeah, Zed decided to go in because he saw Q2Rock use his sleepy bubble troll, but Jeffrey was just on point with his peeling, and although Q2Rock died, he was able to give Q2Rock enough time to at least secure a return kill.
However, Papa Skips roaming top lane has put him down a level, and now Nita Dirty is to aggress and take advantage of that level down. The bola does land, so does the hook shot. He flashes away. The Nature's Graph is also popped to try and facilitate his top laner leaving. Sleepy Bubble Trouble does hit onto Maokai, but it won't be followed up. And now Rift Herald is on top of TikTok as well. Will they even continue doing this Rift Herald? I don't think they will. And Nita Dirty is just helping Dawnbringer push this advantage by pushing the wave, forcing Papa Skips to miss some CS, and pushing that lead in the top lane from Dawnbringer even further, as Q2Rock takes a burst of half his health from 3-8 in the mid lane.
Yeah, his ult is almost up, and he can definitely make something happen. But looks like there's going to be a dive here in the mid lane.
Dive indeed, as 3-8 is being dove upon by Nita Dirty. The kill comes through from Dawnbringer. He had to use the flash to finish off the Zed before he could try and follow up on the death mark, but they find the kill in mid lane, pushing an S3 right now. They do land some good chunk damage on the TikTok, but they won't find the turret, but they're just finding these small kills to help slowly build up their goal lead. It's 2.5k right now, and a lot of it is onto this top laner and jungler, but a good bit of it is sprinkled in the bot lane as well on top of this Kai'Sa.
Yeah, and now the Zed is slowly but surely being negated here. It was a nice rotation. After top lane was pushed out by Rengar and a top lane, they went mid, dove the Zed, and allowed Zoe to catch up a bit. Now she has the stopwatch. Now she has the Seeker's arm guard. So now it's looking a lot better for EOD, and I actually think they should be able to win this game. Although that's why I said last game. Yeah, I mean, the first game, and we all saw what happened that game.
A bigger advantage that was also gained on the back of that was an Infernal Drake, which is huge for a team that scales like the Kai'Sa does, like the Zoe does. Dawnbringer as well in the side lanes, once he gets his Trinity Force, will be able to completely obliterate targets with that extra AP and AD scaling. So we'll see how that factors into the later parts of the game, if they make it that far. But lanes are somewhat resetting as Ringar is getting ready for his red buff, roaming around the jungle, killing camps in the top lane. Dawnbringer is being taken low by Papa Skips. Even though he has a lead, he is still being taken extremely low. 3-8 looking for the engage. This should be a kill for the Zed. The death mark does pop, and that will be another kill for the Zed, trying to snowball himself to help affect the rest of his team. Jeffrey, though, waiting for this engage. Rengar is there. He does have the ultimate. Will he be able to follow through? They do pop the solar flare. Human each can follow through as well. They have found Wildfire. He will get it completely. But oh my god, the double kill after the flash coming in from Nia Dirty, following up on that kill, being extremely aggressive. Another 2 for 0 in this bottom lane, continually putting this Ezreal and Brand behind and exploiting their weaknesses and getting Human each a lead. I believe that should also give him the gold for his Ginsu's Rage Blade, so he'll be returning with that one-item power spike and even more dangerous than he was before.
Man, I feel sorry for this Brand. He has 2,500 gold accumulated over 15 minutes. He's died 3 times. He only has 1 assist to his name, so he is not having the best of time here. Yeah, it's definitely this bot lane is definitely different from the first 2 games where he went Morg and Lulu, more supports, but now he's going this Brand and he's just not showing up on this point.
And on top of that point, Brand, he's immobile like the Morgana was in the game 2, but Morgana doesn't have to always press and go forward and be aggressive. This Brand, to be effective in this lane, has to try and look for poke, has to try and look for stuns, and when all you can do is play forward and you don't have an AD carry to synergize well with that, with Zed on this Ezreal, it's really hard not only to take and press advantages, but you get picked on so much, as once again he'll be picked on here. The Xenoblade comes through. They don't even need the TP coming in from Dawnbringer to match, as Papa Skips actually popped his own to try and respond, but he'll cancel it, and he's in his own thick of trouble as Nia Dirty is here to try and 2v1 him, but TikTok is here. Can they turn around? This will take the Rengar low. They knock him up. He does use the W, however, to get health back, but TikTok will finish off the kill. Dawnbringer trying to escape or at least trade out a kill, but it won't happen. A double kill coming through for the Maokai. So while 1 kill is straight on the bot side, Lane Kingdom has to feel good by trading another. However, EOD is pushing this bottom lane turret, trying to take it, and said, you stuck around too long, the exhaust will come through. He does have the stopwatch, but it won't save his life. Human Each does get the kill, and they'll still get this first brick turret as well. They have a wave pushing, and there's nothing Brand can do about it. So at the end of the day, EOD still finds advantages across the map, and all Lane Kingdom can do is respond by trying to take this Rift Herald.
I mean, top lane was taken before, so they don't necessarily get first brick, but they're definitely going to get Rift Herald, and this turret is looking especially juicy for this Zed, but Rengar is there to save the day.
I'm sorry, my client didn't show me that first brick. It must have been taken in between all that fighting, because sometimes, you know, the spectator won't show you when some things are taken. So my bad on that missed call, but they will still get a turret, however. Trade that out. Lane Kingdom does respond, like you said, with first brick and with the Rift Herald, so we'll see how they use that. So Lane Kingdom trying to fight back, but once again, just like in game 1, things look all EOD going into getting closer to the 20-minute mark.
Yep, and looks like Maokai is getting bursted.
Yeah, going extremely low there in the mid lane. The walk away, they won't go for the dive on top of the Maokai. He does have the Nature's Grasp up now, so that would have been a dangerous play to make, a ballsy play to take. Instead, they'll go for taking him low. Then they'll just all converge mid lane and try and look to take another turret. As Rengar is here, the only person missing is Dawnbringer on his Camille, just trying to continue the split push. He has TP advantage, so he can join a fight before Papa Skips can. So this should be a turret that they feel confident about pushing. Papa Skips trying to aggress on top of him, trying to take him low enough so it doesn't matter, but Nia Dirty is on his way up to help. The Hextech ultimatum has been popped. This should be a kill for the jungler and top laner of EOD. It will come through. So another kill being taken by EOD, and now they can push both these lanes and feel good. However, Brand and Zed are pushing here by themselves. The ultimate is popped by the Rengar to escape. It looks like 3-8 will try and go for Dawnbringer, while the Brand will go for the other member. That should be an easy kill right there. Rengar will escape with his life because of the ultimate, but they're at least able to trade back a kill for a kill, top laner for top laner, but this does give away the Cloud Drake to EOD.
Yeah, I think they're fine. They're fine with giving up the Cloud Drake for that kill on Zed. I mean, Zed is absolutely a monstrously ahead of this Zoe. he's absolutely scary. Even with Kai'Sa's shields, he's gonna burst all the way through that.
And a re-engage coming in here in the mid lane as Soraka is able to find and burst out Zed off the back of Jeffrey's Zenith's blade. The Ignite from Brand. Wildfire won't be able to find a trade kill on the back end of it. They thought they had found a pick, but instead they were the pick themselves. So 1-for-0 trade. 3-8 is here though, so EOD has to be careful in this mid lane. They don't want to try and challenge Zed this early, as Soraka did find a sleepy bubble trouble, but they won't find anything on the back end of it. And action engage from TikTok. They found Nita Dirty. He will go down, staying too long, my friend, and he has been punished for his transgressions. As they find the pick, they find the turret as well. So Lane Kingdom, while they did see some early advantages, they're keeping this game close. The goal lead is only just a little bit over 2,000, so they're still in this, and they still have a Rift Herald to use anywhere on the map if they choose to do so, going into the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and the gold lead isn't really that bad. The gold lead is mostly on the jungler, which is pretty good, and the Kai'Sa. So it's definitely a winnable game for EOD. But Zed is monstrously ahead of the Zoe and the Malcolm. And oh, I didn't switch this around. And Poppy is slightly ahead of the Camille. So there's definitely a good game here from both teams. It's pretty close at 20 minutes. Something that we didn't see in the first two games.
And talking about this Zed, if you have a good Zed, which 3-8 has shown that he can be a good, at least very competent Zed, unless you have the reflexes of a god, it's going to be extremely hard for them to stop the Zed from getting on top of this Kai'Sa, because it will take a Zenith Blade or a CB Bubble Trouble to stop him before he pops the Kai'Sa, before he pops the cute Soraka. And it's going to be really, really hard for them to do so. So 3-8 definitely taking command of this game for Lane Kingdom, keeping them in it. TikTok had to pop the Rift Herald. It was running out. He pops it mid lane. They might try and look for a fight around it, as cute Soraka is already half health. This will chunk the turret itself down to half health. Wildfire getting soloed out and killed by Nita Dirty in the jungle. So
they should back off here.
Now. They have to back off. Human Each wants to find something. The hook shot comes through. The Hexa ultimatum can't be popped because TikTok, boom, stops him from getting onto the back line. However, 3-8 is killed before he can find anything. Dawnbringer is killed himself before he can find a kill. However, he did do his job of separating the back line from his front line, so EOD still in a good spot. The Zenith Blade is popped, but the stalwart presence is still there for Papa Skips, blocking the rest of EOD from following through. The shutdown kill does still follow up from Nita Doherty. However, things could have been much worse for the side of Lane Kingdom. They still make it a 2-for-2 trade at the end of the day in the mid lane, and it forces a stalemate. At the very least, they might lose a turret here.
Yeah, so the goal lead is going to expand every, but looks like Brand is still here, who wasn't present at the last fight. So again, looks like Lane Kingdom still isn't backing off when they have a member down, but they weren't punished this time. They weren't punished in the first game, and they haven't been punished yet in this game. So keep note of that as this game goes on, because this is one of the weaknesses that I've been seeing from this team ever since the first game.
Oh boy, 3-8 has found Human Each. This could be a very easy kill. He does pop the ultimate, the Prey Seeker, trying to survive long enough, but the Death Mark finds the kill. And like you said, as Wildfire might be caught out here again, the ultimate has come out from Ringar, and he's completely destroyed by Nita Dirty. Another kill, 9-3-2 for this Ringar, as he already has his Storm Raiders, already has his Dustblade of Drogstar, and he is completely 100-0ing targets, and they're trying to find Papa Skips in the top lane, trying to at least push down this turret, and Papa Skips doing his best, his damnedest to make a valiant effort to stop them from taking it. They do trade turrets at the very least before one goes down, so Lane Kingdom once again doing a very good job of just trading objectives, trading kills across the map. And you made a valid point earlier that although they were able to salvage the fight, just salvage it, they were fighting a 4v5 in which Wildfire got bursted out and destroyed by Nina Doherty before he was even able to join that. So I shiver and quake in my boots to think what happens if Lane Kingdom can find a fight 5v5 before Wildfire is completely destroyed, if he can get his full rotation off and contribute to these team fights.
Yeah. So right now it's just a 2K goal lead. It's still anyone's game. One team fight can turn this game around because it's going to be team fight one into Baron into what I believe this next dragon is a mountain. So there's just a lot of things that can happen within the next 5 minutes, and this is definitely a good game 3 to finish off this amazing series that we've had so far.
Kaisa, on her Nashor's Tooth, on her Ginsu's Rage Blade. Both these teams have at least 2 or 3 members who have hit their power spikes and can contribute to team fights. And this Mountain Drake, if it can be taken by the side of EOD, will fulfill another step toward a win condition of getting Drake and getting toward that Elder, and they will take it. Lane Kingdom had to back away, knew they couldn't take a full-on 5v5 just yet, a little bit too nervous to try and take it full front to back, knowing that Rengar was around. So that's 3 Drakes. All 3 of, when put together, have great value together. The Cloud Drake giving you the movement speed in combat and around the map, Infernal Drake the scaling, and the Mountain Drake the objective control and the damage, on top of having a Kaisa who already shreds neutral monsters extremely quickly. Things are shaping up for EOD to put them in a good spot to win. The question is, can they finish it? You know, game 1 they couldn't finish it. Can they finish it in game 3 and take the series home?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, like I said, the last 2 games, hopefully EOD doesn't get caught out. I mean, it's kind of hard to get caught out with, unless you get Zed ulted or TikTok Boom gets a massive ultimate. But other than that, there's not for them to lose this game for themselves. So I'd definitely give, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd give them like 70-30. But there's still that 30%.
Now, one thing I have to commend EOD on this entire series has been their vision control. There has not been a time where I have not seen 8 wards on for them throughout the rest of the game. And actually, Human Each, they thought they could find the Zed, but he might get popped himself. The Death Mark does finally come through, but it is stopped by the stopwatch. Zed is able to escape. He does pop the Yomus, however, the Power Plasm is on Q's Rock as well. He goes back toward the team, but did that hurt his team more than help it? They do kill him, and they will get Jeffrey on the back end as well. So this is the mistake that Lane Keenan was looking for, the mistake that EOD has made and once in at least all 3 of their games here, giving up crucial kills at a time when they can't afford to, and giving Lane Kingdom the control around this barren pit as this game goes on. And now they're looking for the death push. Will EOD fall prey to this? They will not just yet. However, they are pushing mid lane recklessly, and this will cause a flank from the side of Lane Kingdom. Nino Dirty has been found out. Can they follow through with the kill? The flash is there. Nino Dirty is trying to slowly run away, but he does not have his ultimate up yet. They can try and look to chase if they want to, but said, we'll just throw out one more Q before walking away. The Mystic Shot not being able to land down enough damage to get the kill, and he doesn't have the Iceborne Gauntlet to follow through. But now things have completely been flipped on their heads, and Lane Kingdom feel like they had the momentum in this game after just 2 picks in the mid lane.
Yeah, and but I feel like they could have gotten a lot more with those 2 picks. Maybe gone to Baron. They might not have the most Baron damage, but at least try and do something around there. What they did was was just chase around the Rengar around the map, and that was a pretty fast kitty cat. So,
and it shows how little priority they put on vision in these games. None of the 3 games have they put down more than 2 or 3 wards at a time, and those are all of Wildfire's wards. It feels like, while EOD wards consistently, although they do make mistakes like getting caught out there, cute Soraka, not respecting not only the damage coming out from Wildfire, but the mobility of this Zed getting caught out and killed. But at least they maintain vision and keep themselves in the game and keep themselves in proximity of opportunities to take fights and challenge objectives, because Lane Kingdom just doesn't seem to really care about Vision. They just want to make sure they can go and fight. And Vision isn't a part of that. However, it looks like Brand got a phone call, and we're having to pause the game.
Man, I wish I could do that. I could go for a pizza right about now.
Yeah, well, I wish I could, pause solo queue and say, hey guys, I need a pause. I have a phone call, very important business phone call. My pizza guy, Domino's, hit me up. He's at the front door. I mean, I've been dealing with this guy. We've been in business together for years. I gotta take this call. I gotta go get it. I guess they live in a different, more privileged world, being on a team, and crazy.
Yeah, the team union. I mean, we will play League of Legends too, right? So.
Yep.
I mean, let's fight for it, as they say. But I guess that's a story for next time. But looking at this game, it's all the chaos. It's still 1K, 27 minutes, and one phone call separating us from getting back into the game.
Exactly, and if you're the side of Lane Kingdom, you have to feel pretty good that you're down 1,000 gold, but 3-8 has been popping off all game, basically single-handedly keeping you in this one. The Poppy and TikTok will soon get tanky enough to take the damage and mitigate the damage coming out from Soraka and Human Each, especially since Human Each did go for the AP build Kaisa, and both Poppy and TikTok build pretty well in the magic resist and armor respectively. Your Ezreal does have his 2 item spikes, so he does do some damage, and eventually Brand will be beefy enough to at least survive long enough to get his full rotation off. So you have to feel pretty good if you're Lane Kingdom at this point, going 30 minutes.
Yeah, and speaking of Brand, it looks like he finished his Beast guy, and we look like we're going to be getting into game soon. 27 minutes here in the game, and looks like the lanes are pushed for Lane Kingdom.
And boy, I mean, have we had some long ones there, man? I don't think we've had a single game go less than 30 minutes. I don't know if one has eclipsed the 40-minute mark yet, but I know we haven't had a quick one yet this entire series, which just means more League of Legends, more action and fun for us, as it appears that EOD is going to go for a pseudo 1-3-1. They're going to push the mid lane. Ringar was hovering toward that top lane, but they already have the wave pushed out, while Domringer will match 3-8 in this bottom lane. So, like we said before, even though EOD has the goal, Lane Kingdom has a momentum. It's Domringer reacting to 3-8 pushing the bottom lane, not vice versa. It's a lot of reactive play coming out from EOD, although they, by all means, have the quote-unquote lead going into the 29-minute mark.
Yeah, one thing to note is that Brand is still barely on 1 item. So even though he can do a lot of damage, doesn't have the items to do a lot of damage. So if a team fight goes off where the team is suddenly off 100 damage on every member, maybe start to wonder what if Brand had a bit more gold to invest into his items.
Hopefully they can win a team fight to get him that gold so he can catch up with his team. As you stated, he has the finished vision item, finished the line, and he has the Oblivion Orb to follow up with a little bit of magic pin and damage. However, not much else doing after that. Earlier, Lane King was trying to find a death brush, but it was not successful. So both teams are now just posturing around this mid lane, trying to find an advantage. Who blinks first looks to be the name of the game here, as a Sleepy Bubble Trouble does land on Wildfire but has not followed through. Papa Skips has been taken relatively low. He has been chunked for a good bit of his health here, and Said is not at his fullest health. However, Cute Soraka ain't saying too much about himself either, being below half health as well. Papa Skips there at 3-8, tries to go in. He does get the death mark, but however, the Hourglass saves his life and he gets completely canceled out. A greedy play by the Zed, and now the rest of EOD will fall through. TikTok trying to separate, but Ringar on the back end of the fight. Cute Soraka finding TikTok. The front line is gone. Wildfire is gone, and the rest of Lane Kingdom is sent packing as EOD is going to push this mid lane and look for another turret.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. As I have said time and time again, it looks like the side of Lane Kingdom does not know how to back off of team fights. I mean, they apparently they haven't seen a team fight they didn't like. So right now they're gonna look like EOD is gonna get into and go into the dragon, but no. No, it's just really frustrating to see this coming out from Lane Kingdom. They could do so much more. It's just that, or give up so much less. It's just that they just don't want to.
It's like 3-8. What are you doing, kid? Why are you going that deep for cute Soraka? He has the hourglass. He baited him, cucked him, and he died. And like you said, the rest of the team just didn't know how to back off. It was miscommunication. They didn't. You had some members falling back, other members going forward. TikTok, I feel, just resorted to deciding to be the sacrificial lamb. But even that didn't work because Dawnbringer was able to still hook shot into the back line and at least find Wildfire for the kill. And although Dawnbringer went down, he did enough. He separated his back line from he separated Lane Kingdom's back line from their front line, and that just allowed EOD to burst out TikTok and then find kills on the back end and once again retake the momentum in this game. And it feels like miscommunication has just been the bane of Lane Kingdom this entire series.
Yeah, well, I mean they are. I mean, at least they've improved from their own live state. Like, if you ask me what record they'd be at, I'd say maybe 2-3, 1-4. I would never have thought this team was going to be 4-5. So.
Oh, but we have a flash engage coming in from TikTok, however. But it looks like Kai'Sa will go straight for the backline. Wildfire, though, does get the pyroclasm off. EFG does find a kill on the Dawnbringer. They're able to kite away. Cute Soraka tries to find a way out, and he will find a way out. Neo Dirty, with his gold advantage, cleans up the rest of the team. Wildfire will kill Kai'Sa on the backside as well, but it will be a 2-for-2, 2-for-3 trade coming in for Lane Kingdom as that True Shot Barrage finds cute Soraka, and just as we thought that EOD had found their momentum back, got their groove back, it looks like Lane Kingdom decided to throw off the Emperor's groove and take back a team fight. Now they're going to push mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice engage coming out from the Maokai, and the backline just got so low after that they couldn't do anything the rest of the team fight, and that allowed Ezreal and Brand to just put out so much damage afterwards. So it's what a turn of events. It looks like Lane Kingdom just won't give up.
They're the itch that just won't stop scratching. You gotta keep going back to it. It's like, we thought we put these guys down. Why do they keep coming back? And they just are showing their tenacity. And for an 0-5 team, they're showing that they have the potential to clean sweep potentially the back end of their schedule and try and go for that 5v5. But they gotta, just like EOD, they have to try and finish it. They have to try and find a way to finish these fights, finish this game, and stop letting EOD claw their own way back in. And just like game 2, it just feels like what team is going to blink first? Who's going to make the biggest mistake first? Yeah. And so far, it's been Lane Kingdom in some aspects, but anything is possible, it feels like, in this game 3.
Yeah. And looking at this, I think it's all going to be about this Baron here. Who's going to get the Baron? Who's going to have the power to siege this turret and get a massive gold lead? That's what I think this game is going to rely on. Looks like they're all hovering on around this Elder, which isn't spawning yet. But looks like they're going to be going for this Baron here, or at least clearing out Vision.
And they haven't started immediately. 3 is trying to look for a pick. They've started now because they recognize that Camille's on the bomb side and that the rest of EOD is spread out. Can they burn it in time? That's the question. Or is this just a bait? They're going to keep burning it down. Camille is still on the top end. Soraka does have L3-8. However, he has been singled out and he might get killed right here. He is popped and the bait does work, but now Nita Dirty wants to find a kill. However, he will be found out and he will be killed. However, he does have a Guardian's Angel, so he will be able to come back up from death. So will 3-8, but the rest of Lane Kingdom has found the back line of EOD, and they are cleaning house. The steadfast presence stops the Zenith Blade from following through. That's a shutdown and 3 kills going over, actually a full ace, going over toward Lane Kingdom. They're the ones who come out with 3 members strong. The question is, are they healthy enough to take this Baron? And we'll find out in just a few minutes. It should be that way. Said just has to be careful with his health. But what a fight win for the side of Lane Kingdom, being able to clean up that fight. It was very chaotic, but at least they were able to do it and take this Baron.
Yeah, and it looks like EOD got a bit of Lane Kingdom syndrome, and they're fighting 5v4, and it looks like Wildfire and Diezra were able to kite back, and the and Maokai and all the rest of the members of Lincoln were able to get on the Kaisa and at least make her ineffective enough to not do the most damage as she could. So now it's looking to be the game for Lane Kingdom. It's such a back and forth game.
They were able to capitalize, I feel, on another case of a mistake. You saw cute Soraka try and go in to find some poke and use her ultimate just to, at least get vision on the Baron pit. But the Porter of Jump was able to be tracked by 3-8, and the brand followed up, and they were able to get that kill, and it just snowballed out of control. Nita Doherty trying to find something on the backside as well, but he was able to be seen in vision because on that ring guard, once you get close enough to enemies, especially those that you've already killed with your passive, you can be seen and therefore called out and killed. The steadfast presence from Papa Skips doing so much work there in that fight, not only stopping Nita Doherty's jump, but also stopping the hook shot from Dawnbringer and stopping the Zenith Blade from Jeffrey and allowing Lane Kingdom the time to clean up that fight. Because it was just so chaotic, so everywhere, that if they didn't have the time to clean up that fight, if the hook shot or the Zenith Blade lands, then that's probably a fight win for EOD.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of things to go through in that fight, and so it's just a quite a game for us casters to go the full 3-game mile. So but props to these teams for being so resilient, even though this game has gone so back and forth.
We're about to hit 40 minutes now, and both these teams are posturing around this Elder Drake. It appears that Lane Kingdom has first priority, and they're going to go ahead and start it. They know how important this is because they can't allow a 4-dragon team to take this Elder Drake and get that quadruple stacked buff. They were trying to bait out a fight as well, but they didn't find it. They didn't find the bait. The Nature's Grasp is out as well. So now that's a crucial team fighting ultimate that's completely gone, and now it will be EOD that starts this up.
Oh.
We have to keep our eyes on 3-8.
With 2 mouths, this burned us down pretty fast.
Yeah, they do burn it completely out, and now Wildfire is found on the back end of everything. He is deleted by Neo Dirty. TikTok trying to find something on the backside to try and salvage the fight, but now Human Each has found him with the Prey Seeker. He has a flash over the wall, but he'll be killed by cute Soraka. So a 2-for-0 right now for the side of EOD, and they're going to keep pushing with this quadruple stacked Elder Dragon. It doesn't matter if you have an Baron buff, Han. If you're facing a 4-stacked Elder with one of those stacks being an Infernal Drake, you're in some deep trouble, as they're going to go ahead and try and push this inhibitor turret.
Yeah, and now it looks like they're going to go on to
He
that.
has to pop the ultimate. The shutdown kill comes on for cute Soraka. Papa Skip is dead, and 3-8 doesn't have the death mark anymore. He had to use it to try and escape. They could try and push for the end. All they have is the Zed and the Ezreal to try and save the base. But EOD will play it smart. They'll play it safe. They'll back away and look to rotate toward this top lane and get this tier 2 outer turret and extend their gold advantage.
It's a huge clown fiesta now, where now suddenly Lane Kingdom gets Baron, loses the fight, and fight before that, they get Baron, and now looks like Zed is gonna try and win the next fight.
He tried, but he failed and gets killed on the backside by Human Eats, getting the kill with the W on top of the stun coming in from Cute Soraka. So once again, it is not only a 4v5, a 3v5 for the side of Lane Kingdom trying to defend this tier 2 turret. Will they stick around to challenge? Nature's Draft comes out, but the Solar Flare stays the aggression from the side of Lane Kingdom. Leona is in the back line. However, TikTok is on his lonesome and will get completely destroyed by the rest of EOD. Wildfire goes low as well. Papa Skips will be left alone. Oh! The True Shot Barrage finds one in the back end. Papa Skip finds the second. Nina Doherty will be the third. And they find the cleanup. The only member left is the Camille pushing the bot lane tier 2 turret. But that's exactly the fight that Lane Kingdom wanted to find. And now they're back in the driver's seat. They do have super minions pushing their Nexus turret, but that's the stay of execution that they were looking for.
I mean, if this is a script written by anyone, Risen, I will have to commend you because this is better than any WWE Riot script that I've ever seen it in any other League of Legends game. So I will have to commend you. It was even better than the first thing that you've written up, my friend. This is just amazing.
If it's a script, I'm loving the way the script is playing out. I can't wait for Act 3, Act 4 if we move into it, because these teams are still going strong. Now the gold lead is still 3,000 in favor of EOD, just a little bit over 3,000 in favor of EOD, but this late in the game, that's still not that much. And they do have double mountains, so next time Baron spawns, they do have that as a win condition. However, if they succeed another fight like that, the game could be ended in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it all depends on how the waves are, how the turrets are, and how many members there are left after the fight. This game is so unpredictable. It's just so hard as an analyst to predict what's going to happen next.
But I'm getting the hiccups right now from how excited I am about this game. I had to just sit there and take a sip of my water just to calm down. The Hexagon's man is actually popped on 3-8, but he does have the guard data to save his life. The Death Park saves him a little bit of time, but he should be sold out. However, on the back end of the fight, the rest of EOD has been split from Dawnbringer and Cute Soraka, so he has his own GA pop. And the Wildfire comment will find Cute Soraka on the back end. Said, we'll go unstoppable when they find Dawnbringer, and nobody except TikTok has gone down on the side of Lane Kingdom. However, Wildfire might die here to Nino Doherty. He is killed. 3-8, can he find the kill? He does have a Garen's Angel, so you have to be careful. Human Eats has backed him up, and a double kill comes through. The Solar Flare as well, a shutdown kill. This could be the game. Papa Skips, you're the only one that's alive, and you will go down. They are wiped, the clean ace, and now EOD will push the base and possibly look to end the game.
It's been a long series, but it's been a great series. What a game coming out from EOD, and what a series. It's been back and forth, but in the end, EOD just proved to be the better team so far. They did well in the first game, and they definitely redeemed themselves in the second and third game, taking the series win.
And Lane Kingdom, we have to give Lane Kingdom a round of applause, because they, despite being 0-5, found a way to take EOD the distance and force them to play the best League of Legends they might have been forced to play all season long. And it was a hell of a game to reintroduce myself to play-by-play. Just a hell of a series overall. And man, that was some fun League of Legends, man. Analyzing that in the end, I mean, you can say what you will, but that was exciting and just fun to watch.
Looks like my phone ran out of battery.
And I had a problem with with Discord as well. That was a little bit weird, but regardless, you know what? let's not ruin this great feeling with any super deep analysis. Let's not peg anybody and go after people. Let's just end it right here, Han. I had a great time casting with you, man. Do you have any last words?
I
Ah,
mean, congratulations to the pot of 25 Kawhi Sundarians, and I hope I get to say their full team name again.
and one more thing before we leave, Han, give me an MVP. What's your pick? Just you at this point.
For MVP, who I think if I were to look for the player that carried this team throughout the series, I would actually have to say not the carries, but the support. Jeffrey definitely carried with his pike, with his Leona, healing for his carries, and that I think was the MVP of this series so far. So yeah,
Great.
What do you have to say about it?
Great minds think alike, my friend. I was going to say Jeffrey as well because, like you pointed out, they don't get to a game 3 if he doesn't have that monstrous pike performance in game 2. And even in this game, when it looked like things were a little bit bleak for EOD, him getting that Kaisa ahead early allowed her to still be viable in a lot of these later team fights where she could have still been an item behind this Ezreal and not doing as much damage as she could have, as well as finding just key engages with Solar Flare and Zenith's Blade. So he's my MVP as well. Jeffrey, you're the man in the bottom lane. The support that just did it all, man. You're the support I wish I had in my solo queue games. That's what I'll say.
And the support ADCs wish they had in their bot lane. So I think that's gonna be it for us.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us here for the live streamed game of the Dominate League for Risen Esports Week 7. EOD taking it home 2-1 versus Lane Kingdom. From us, Han, me, we'll see you guys fudging later.